This is Fujii Kaze with Kirari. I already love this. I love this guy. So I'm totally biased now. Let's get it. Interesting. Are you catching these little bits of color that are appearing on his clothes? Oh man, come on. No green screen. Oh, everything will be shiny. Kirari. I don't know if that means that Kirari is shiny or if the Kirari is the name of somebody he's talking to. He just looks like fun, doesn't he? So Tad says in this context, it means to sparkle. Got it. Thank you, Tad. I feel like he's really going somewhere, and I'm just not quite sure yet. I want to see what he does in the end. Ooh, interesting. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. Good old Spiky John. Okay. Let me just check something in the beginning here. Two made it by one easily. Okay, I'm gonna get really deep here. I'm gonna tell you what I think they're trying to say subtextually in this video. It might seem like a bit of a stretch, but let's be honest. What else are you gonna do right now? You have better places to be. I don't think so. Let's get it, shall we? I think the theme of this song can be summed up visually by Fujii's attire. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. All plain white. And there's a splash of color here, a splash of color there. He's got a little splash of color on his sleeve, which we see in the very beginning. We see a little splash of color down here. Now, initially, and we got some on his shoes too. Now, initially, I thought that color was just appearing as the video progressed, which would have been something completely different, but it's there the whole time. I think, based on the lyrics that I was able to catch, as well as the visuals of the two stages of this video cinematically, we've got this like fake world. Okay, he's on the motorcycle. Now watch, you can see the world in the background, right? As he progresses through this world, it starts to kind of disassemble. You start to see that it's fake, obviously. Okay? It's coming apart. Now, this transition happens over time to where in that scene specifically, we actually see the transition happen. Things he's left behind in the past. And then we get the transition to real life here. I think there's something to be said subtextually of what we think life is and what it actually is. How we perceive things, how they actually are. Because I think what Fujii is trying to say here is just like this coat he's wearing. He's trying to tell you that life is like this jacket. It can be very plain, not really much to it, but there are little splashes of color. And that's kind of what makes up life. And let's go even further. Look at this line. No matter how bad our bodies decay, we'd love to laugh at the end of time. And let's go even deeper. This is pretty deep, but follow me. Fujii started off in a position where he is laying down, okay? He's literally he's here. He's completely laying down. When he gets to this middle position, he's kind of matching the position of this guy in the background who is sitting up, but he's thinking. He's perseverating. He's ruminating. So Fujii started lower, let's say emotionally. Okay? Started lower than this guy back here who is ruminating. And Fujii actually goes further and gets up. And this, I don't think this is an accident. This isn't a coincidence. This whole first section is one shot for a reason. Because as the shot progresses, I need you to see things and understand their context to the other things, right? The very plain background. I don't need you to pay attention to what's bad there, but I just need you to see what's there. Look at how it changes in relation to the other subject. This guy has not moved. Will he move before the end of this scene? Nope. Fujii went from lower than the other subject, got up, matched his level, and then made a conscious decision and movement to actually get up and move forward. No need to look for brand new days. They're always here with us. Now, I do think it's pretty cool that in the end, where is it? We do see this cat. The guy that was sitting there, walking towards the camera. Maybe not this far back. Nope. Right there. So we see this guy. So now we have a moment of success. Ah, he made it. He didn't sit there in that one spot. He got up and he made it. And right there, he's moving, baby. Yeah. And now he's dancing. Look how happy he is. Look at that. Look at him coming in hot over here. Look how happy he is. How many times, let's be honest, how many times have you had to reframe how you think about something? You just have to think about it in a different way. And then when you do that, you realize like, oh man, I actually feel completely different about this. It's that one little piece of information or that one little twist that makes you feel completely differently. Sometimes it completely removes an emotion that you have about something because you're like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. Huh, okay. And it doesn't bother you anymore. It's not always the case. It's not a completely exclusive, but yeah, I think that what Fujii is saying is that sometimes it's a matter of deciding, I'm not going to let this ruin me. I'm not going to let this ruin my day, ruin my moment. Again, this is one of those things that's very easy to say in the moment, and it does not apply to some things. It's not like I'm presenting the idea to you of, hey, if you got some really bad news today, just buck up. You'll be fine. Everything will get better tomorrow. Bullshit. Sometimes we have really friggin' bad days. But after we kind of process things, there does come a time where we got to kind of take that deep breath and be like, okay, so this is the situation now. Here we are. How do we move forward now? Right? Yeah. And I do think that is the case. Okay, so here we are. How do we move forward? That, I think, is an interesting question. Because I feel like too often, and now I'm starting to talk from my perspective, and I'm still kind of talking about Fujii's message here, I think. But from my perspective, I feel like too often I'm guilty of really kind of spiraling into how I'm feeling, how much things have changed in this one, like bad day or a bad moment. And I start comparing right now with how things were. And I'm like, oh, everything's worse now. Everything's ruined. And I start to spiral in my brain and it just goes. And I just start, what's the word? I just start catastrophizing everything so it seems 10 times bigger than it actually is. I know this is the case, and I know generally how people tend to think. So when I deal with my students a lot of times, I tell them, look, this right now is a process. It's not an event. Now think about that. This is a process, not an event. That means that what you're experiencing right now will change. It will transform. It will do that anyway. Now, I would rather have the control to say, I'm going to decide how this is going to transform instead of letting life transform it for me. Does that make sense? That was really damn deep for a Fujii Kaze video. But I really do believe, based on the work that we've seen from him, that that's kind of what he's trying to say. Life, as it is, can be really plain. And I think for most of us, for all of us, it absolutely is. And there are little splashes of color. And we got to appreciate and take note of those splashes of color. Respect them for what they are. Because let's be honest. Let's be real about this. If this color was all through his coat, and if life was just full of all this, it wouldn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man, I really loved this.